Hello viewers, welcome to episode 10 of the Smart Mobility Revolution. My name's Kevin Borras, joined as ever by Bob McQueen, Smart City Expert. Bob is one of three co-authors of a new body of knowledge called the Smart Mobility Revolution. The body of knowledge is a book and a video and audio stuff and educational elements as well. So it's a BOK rather than a book, but we're referring to it as a book briefly just for the avoidance of confusion. So today, episode 10, we're looking at opportunities and challenges. So it's how to embrace opportunities and overcome challenges rather than the other way around. So what do city authorities, mayors, smart city advisors, whatever job title they have, what do they need to look out for in order to install or instill, if you like, the thinking of a smart mobility and a smart city by addressing those challenges and embracing opportunities?
Well, first of all, Kevin, I think it's good to keep the opportunities and challenges together. A lot of people, I guess you divide people into pessimists and optimists. The pessimist will dwell on the challenges to the point where you're ready to jump off one of the bridges in London, right? The optimist will focus on the challenges. I think the opportunities, you got to put the two things together.
Yeah.
And the challenge for me is making sure I don't say opportunity when I should say challenge and vice versa.
Yes.
So, there's a number of big opportunities, mainly related to improving safety, increasing efficiency of the transportation network, which is important because in the US alone, 28% of our energy goes into transportation. And efficiency to me also means environmental, but we pull that as separate. What effect is the transportation system having on our climate? And then big category that I used to call customer service, but the IT guys have persuaded me that it's actually a user experience.
UX,
US, and what they tell me is the user will have an experience whether you have designed it or not. So it's better if you optimize the user experience.
So it's a good one. Yes.
Right? Challenges, how do you make it all fit together? How do you choose the right place to start? How do you make sure that you can answer the political question, which is, hey, Bob, I want to improve the use of transit in my city. What should I do? How much should I spend? And what results should I expect? These are the things we're focusing on in the body of knowledge so that you're equipped to answer that. Funnily enough, transportation people are very service focused, but not necessarily marketing focused. If you ask them these questions, they don't have an elevator speech. They can't tell you rapidly who they are, what they do, and why it's beneficial to society. So we need to get that together, and we're going to equip people to do that.
Excellent. So in terms of let's talk as a print journalist by trade, I kind of gravitate towards the print element. So from the book section of your body of knowledge, how do you address the challenges that cities and authorities face? So if I am a city and I'm reading this, what am I going to get out of it? Am I going to be able to make decisions or informed decisions based on the content of the book?
Well, at the end of the day, it's your responsibility for the decisions that you take, but we will inform those decisions by telling you, here are the challenges that have been experienced, and here's how people have addressed them before. And there will be a core set of evergreen challenges and opportunities that will not change over time, but there'll also be things that crop up as technologies emerge. For example, micromobility, this new ability to just pick up an electric scooter on the street and take it somewhere else. Great opportunity, but one of the challenges is people are a bit indiscriminate about where they leave them. They leave them in the middle of crosswalks. They leave them where people can trip over them. They don't obey the speed limits and maybe going too fast for areas that are not appropriate. For example, areas that are shared between scooters and pedestrians. And the other challenge is that these electric vehicles are silent, so they can sneak up on you quite easily.
Yeah.
I've been frightened quite a few times here in Perpignan by they have these scooters called wind. I'm sure the French call it wind, but all you feel is the wind going past when the scooter goes past you.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting experience.
I went to the launch of the Britain's first electric taxi at the Lotus test facility in Norfolk. several years ago, and a photographer was hit by a taxi because he stepped out in front of it, didn't.
Yep.
Don't look. There's so much of crossing a road is noise. You hear a car coming around the corner. If you can't see it, you know it's coming. Right. That was within half an hour of getting there. Thinking, oh, they're talking about a safety demonstration, and it was okay. But
right.
it's the mindset, isn't it, of thinking, okay, well, I'm not just I've got to look more rather than listen more. And I guess the more electric vehicles come on stream, become on more of a once the balance of traffic becomes electric over diesel or petrol, then there's going to be a whole new way of thinking. I guess younger people, are going to become flexible more quickly. But people of our age, for example, or our sort of age group, it's a whole new way of thinking, isn't it?
Well, I think I have an advantage that I don't walk around with my iPod sticking in my ears. If you do that, then it might not matter whether the vehicle's electric or not. You still might not hear it.
That's very true. Yeah, so I like that you dated yourself with the word iPod, but yes, I have one as well.
And then, human behavior. I was watching a couple with a little baby in a baby carriage yesterday, and people do this. They push the baby out first ahead of them into the road.
Yeah.
And as Rick Schumann's dad used to say to him, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. Well, if your parents are going to be dumb, you got to be tough, right?
Being tougher, yeah. So is the book going to be full of examples of how cities have, is it important for that kind of book to have, here's an example of how a city did it really, really well? And is there an example of a city that didn't do it really well? Because you either win or you learn, as they say in sport.
Yeah, I don't think we want to point to people and say, you're not a smart city, you're a dumb city. But I think what we want to do is document where people have tried, and be truthful and accurate about the lessons. What was good, what was not so good. But the other point here, one of the reasons we're doing this, Kevin, is that it's very important to share information about your experiences.
Yes.
If you don't tell people about your experiences, somebody is going to reinvent the wheel. We're going to have the same lesson learned over and over again. Computers is a great example. I worked for a company that every time they had a problem with the computers or the network, they would solve the problem for the first time. But now we have software that builds a memory, it builds a list of things. Last time this happened, here's what caused it, and here's how we fixed it. So you can learn from experience. It's almost like giving, I guess the body of knowledge is like building an intelligence for the practice, for the smart mobility practice, building, how would you call it? Building experience, building a history. I've often heard people say that in any organization, there are people in the organization so good they could work anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So you then ask yourself, well, why are they working for that organization? And it's because of this body of knowledge that surrounds them. They've got availability of other experts, they've got availability of knowledge, and they've got support services. So that's what we're trying to do with the body of knowledge.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to reading it. And so we do have a publishing deal for the said book. It will be out hopefully towards the end of the year with a bit of luck. And a bit of
that's what we're aiming for. Yep.
So
don't mention which year though.
No. Just it will be called The Smart Mobility Revolution. Bob's one of the co-authors with Amar Safi and Shafir El Khaili from Dubai. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you for joining us in part 10. Part 11 will be coming out shortly, and you'll hear more about what actually entails the Smart Mobility Revolution. Thank you.